So, just last week, we saw LeBron James become the first NBA player ever to score 40,000 points, which is one heck of a feat. And I personally did not watch the game. I kind of wish I did now because it is a very, very big thing. We've seen some players come close, like Abdul Jabbar come getting to, I believe, 38,000. Carl Malone getting to around 37, 36,000. Players have kind of gotten close, but who else but LeBron James to finally get there and break that record? Caleb, what do you think on the whole thing? I know there's a very good chance that neither of us ended up actually getting the chance to watch it because despite being a Lakers fan, I have been neglecting the team a little bit, especially more this year. But what did you think on the whole thing?
I mean, it's just insanely impressive. I mean, to do what LeBron has done, and for how long? Because I mean, I think his career is just a model of consistency. He came into the league before either of us were born, and he's just been tearing it up ever since. The best prospect to ever come into the league, and while he obviously isn't at the same level as that he was at his peak, he has had um, potentially I mean, one of the best careers of all time, potentially the best career of all time, which we can get into. Um, but this is a obviously a huge accomplishment. And I was looking at because obviously I'm not the biggest basketball guy. It's definitely a sport I'm trying to get more into. Um, but I saw a stat on Instagram that I thought was pretty crazy in terms of the rate somebody would need to score at. Like you need to score like this many points per game for this many years to get
I
even
think it was
close. I don't remember what
24 points per game for 20 years. I think I remember seeing the
yeah,
same thing.
which is insane. Like if a guy's scoring that many points in a singular night, you're like, okay, that guy had a good game. Like it's a really good game. But to do that every single night for 20 years, like it just shows how great LeBron is. And I mean, he's been in the league so long, and I think people kind of just take it for granted at this point that he's going to be here and he's going to be amazing. Um, but this is one of those records. I mean, because he's only going to push it further. We don't know if he's going to wait to play with Bronny. I know he's been kind of like back and forth on that, where he initially said like, "Oh yeah, like that's my goal. I'll play a year with Bronny and then I'll retire." But you know, a lot of stuff has happened where I know Bronny's draft stock has fallen. He hasn't played as well at USC as people have hoped, which is honestly fair considering that everything that's going on with his health. It's honestly just awesome that he's back on the court. Um, so it does seem like that timeline's pushed back a little bit, where Bronny might play another year at college or something. I know all of that is up in the air in terms of how long we're going to get to continue to see LeBron play in the NBA and produce at this kind of level. Because I mean, he's still a fantastic player at his age. Because how old is he now? He's got to be 40 something at
Ooh,
this, like
no, he's not 40. He's
44.
37, 38.
No.
Yes. He's not that
Mm,
old.
mm.
I know he's not in his
He's
40s.
not pushing.
He's
I feel like he's
39.
got to be pushing four. He's 39. Okay, okay. So close-ish, close-ish.
Yeah, no, he's
But
getting
he's
there.
gonna be at this point. I feel like he's probably playing into his 40s. And I
Yes.
mean, like
Yeah.
in the NBA especially, because I mean, Tom Brady is the guy
He's the
you think
one
about when you think
example.
about yeah. But Tom Brady is kind of a freak of nature in that regard. I mean, LeBron is too. But so we'll see where it goes. Um, maybe I'll toss that question up to you. How many years do you think he's got left in him at this point?
Um, that's a tough question to answer because I think it does absolutely depend on whether Bronny actually is able to get somewhere in the NBA. Because let's say he's a first round pick and he does have the chance to either get a decent amount of minutes off the bench or even be a starter in his rookie year. I think that means a lot more as to whether LeBron will stick around to play with him. If Bronny's going to take a couple of years in the G League, which it's starting to look like if he does make the NBA might be the case, as he is developing, like you mentioned, just and obviously I'm sure his health concerns have been a big part of that. So, I'm not trying to crap on him with this. I'm just saying that he's not quite at that top first round pick level that you normally see with players who are going to be put on the starting lineup or immediately get decent minutes. I don't think LeBron's willing to sit around for 2 or 3 years and wait for his kid to get a few minutes in, right? Like, I think he wants to start with him right away. So I think a lot of it does come down, like you said, to whether Bronny's ready, which A lot of people have been kind of thinking he's probably not, and that's the tough thing with this entire thing is what more does he have to prove, and do the Lakers really have a shot at winning anything in the next couple of years? Because I don't know if I fully see LeBron ring chasing after this. I could see him moving teams to go play with Bronny, but I don't imagine he'd do much more than that. At least in my opinion. I don't see him going to the Warriors and trying to win another ring.
Oh no, he's not going to. I mean, I think he'll probably. I was gonna my computer's being slow as hell, so I wasn't able to look it up. But I was gonna see how long LeBron's contract is with the Lakers because I do think that might determine things.
That's another.
In terms of if that lines up, because I do think I know Bronny could still declare in the draft, and I know what you were talking about in terms of Bronny getting decent minutes. I think that probably won't matter as much as just him being able to get like any time on the court with his son.
I guess.
Like I don't think it's necessarily he's worried about like starting with him.
I also think that if LeBron goes somewhere and then Bronny's starting, or at least getting minutes, even if he's doing nothing. It's like it's the Giannis. It's the Giannis. It's the Giannis. No. Don't matter how strong well the coach is. It's LeBron. We've learned this lesson every single year. LeBron is it's Coach LeBron. If LeBron wants his kid to play, LeBron's kid is going to play.
It's the Aaron Rodgers effect, but not quite as bad.
I mean, we're seeing that with Giannis, and I mean his brother, Thanasis. I think is how you say it. Yeah, like he's been on the bench of the Bucks for like what 6-7 years now, and people are calling him like one of the worst players in the NBA because he's not that good. He's really not that good. There's no reason he should have been on the Bucks for as long as he has been. But are you gonna cut Giannis's brother? No. You're gonna give him 12th man minutes and just hope that that's enough to appease your star. But to answer your question on LeBron's contract, he's got one more year after this one, and then he becomes a unrestricted free agent. So
honestly, I think that works out perfectly for him because if Bronny doesn't. If Bronny, so I'm thinking maybe 2 more years. Honestly, we'll see where he goes because I know he hasn't been concrete on being like I have to play with my son because I know he was in the past, but he's kind of like lightened up on that to saying like, oh, I don't know if I have to do this anymore. I think if he wants to, that lines up perfectly. Where you can play out the year with the Lakers, Bronny goes back to USC where he's actually able to play a full season, and not have to worry about his health stuff. And then by the time Bronny's coming out in the draft, hopefully he's improved his draft stock. Maybe he's a late first round kind of guy at that point. And then at that point, LeBron's in free agency. So he doesn't have to demand a trade. He doesn't have to do anything. He can just take a 1-year flyer deal on whatever team Bronny goes for, play a year with his son. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I know what you said. Maybe Bronny will start anyways. But it doesn't really matter even if Bronny gets starter minutes or not. He just plays a year with his son, and that's the way he ends his career. I feel like that's the way it's going to go. And to kind of bring it back to the 40,000 points thing, in 2 more years, that's going to get, like, this may reach kind of unbreakable record kind of level. Yeah, like, well, I don't know.
And you say that, it kind of already was unbeatable before LeBron broke it, arguably. Like, I've even got, like, CBC's article on it where they have a couple comments from Darvin Ham, the coach of the Lakers, basically saying that he was a young fan when Abdul-Jabbar broke the record initially, or ended his career with a record that was far off what it was previously. It was 38,000. That's my bad. But just a ridiculous margin by any means. Like, no one was even close. Like, even going back to, like, what Jordan got. Jordan was and still arguably is, the best basketball player ever, and he ended his career with, like, what, 34, 33,000, 32?
Yeah. Although he had a weird career.
That's true. That's true.
He took years off.
He definitely, there is more to that, but I think that says, or even just look at Kobe. Kobe ended with, I think, 36,000, I think. Like, that's another good margin of just, like, if Kobe, a player who played for 20 years, averaging 25 points per game, almost 20, or not quite 25. I think he averaged like 23, 22. But he averages a ridiculous amount for almost his entire career and didn't break it.
Another good point. Another good point to bring up that is also true with Kobe is that both Kobe and LeBron came out of high school.
Yes, that's true. And
So,
that is
and you
something that
don't,
is rumored to be
you,
coming back. And
I
has
was
been
going to
for a
say, because you
while.
can't do that anymore.
No.
Um, yeah, but that does give you an extra few years, right? Like the reason LeBron has
It
been so
gives
good
you
is because he's
one.
been,
It gives you one more year
yeah, yeah,
in the end of games.
yeah, but
Yeah.
still, um, that's not insignificant.
Yeah. I
Because
would
in order to
compare
get this record, you need to play for that long.
Yeah, I would compare that rule to kind of what I think they should do with it is the same thing that the CHL does with I think it's called the exceptional player rule, which I think the
Um,
youngest most to be drafted to the CHL, I believe you have to be 15, but with the exceptional player rule, 14-year-olds can be drafted to a
yeah,
CHL team. And it has only been given I think Ooh, this
been
is gonna
given a
test
few
my knowledge.
times.
It's been given 6 or
Been
7
given, I think,
times, I
6.
think.
Yeah.
Like, and there's more players, especially in the next couple of years. I think we're gonna see it used a lot more. But I think it's something they have to kind of adapt because I think players should have to apply for it. I think is how it should work, similar to the CHL, instead of just like basically saying, "Nah, I'm gonna do it anyway," which is basically what happened with Kobe. It's what happened with LeBron. It's what happened with all like Dwight Howard is another example. All those players just went, "Nope,
Yeah.
I'm a good prospect," and probably would have been given exceptional. What is it called?
Player
Exceptional.
status.
Yeah, if it existed, but I'm just saying there has been examples in the past of it not working out. So I think in that sense you should have to apply for it. I think that's a really good system. I think what the CHL does is awesome. So if they continue doing that, I think, or if they tried that, I think it would work really well. But yeah, that's a good point
Yeah,
as well because it absolutely does give you an extra year.
and with a record like this, where it is really just a counting stat, and you got a player like Michael Jordan, and he missed a couple years, and he's not in the running for it. Like him taking years off for baseball and having multiple retirements and unretirements, like that basically knocked him out of the running for it.
That's
I
true.
don't
How
know what
many
his
home
points
runs
per
does
game.
LeBron have? We gotta start putting that in the
Yeah,
GOAT
that's the
category.
that's the GOAT conversation.
How many double A home runs could LeBron hit in a season? Until he shows
I don't know. I
us,
don't know.
we cannot crown him the GOAT. It's just true.
No, that's true. But what LeBron could do, I mean, I know it's not the same because obviously it's not the same because Jordan did baseball. But LeBron was a killer tight end. I don't know if you've seen
No, I
this,
think he was a
but
wide
like
receiver.
LeBron,
Actually, he wasn't a tight end.
I don't know,
He was
either a tight end or a
he
receiver.
would have had to be a tight end, I think, in the NFL. But
Yeah. But he could have genuinely made it to the NFL based on his trajectory as a like high school football player, is what people have said.
yes, well,
Like,
I mean, like he is arguably one of the best prospects in Ohio high school football ever. Looking at his stats, I mean, a 6'8" wide receiver. I feel like that would have had Nick Saban salivating to try and get him.
Yeah.
Like he definitely could have. There's no doubt in that. But yeah, no, I see what you mean. I think it's a little late. I think that one's long gone. Although I will say I would love to see him.
I could see like the Jags doing it as a publicity stunt, honestly.
Jags. No, maybe back
throw
when
him out there.
what was his name? What was that coach who brought in Tebow as a tight end?
Oh God.
Urban Meyer.
Oh.
I could have seen Urban
Meyer,
doing
yeah.
that. Yeah,
he's not
it's a
there
good
anymore
point,
though
though.
for a good reason.
Like LeBron's got to do something in a different sport now. Get LeBron playing hockey.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like LeBron is LeBron a hockey guy in terms of like as he showed up at games? I feel like he
absolutely
must have.
not. But
No.
I
Okay.
think it would be.
I know
very
some players
funny.
are. It would be funny.
Yeah,
It's true.
JJ Watt's the big one.
Yeah, JJ Watt was the big one.
He's got a harder clapper than
is
me,
what I
which
thought.
made me cry a little. But
I mean, it is JJ Watt. Don't sell yourself short.
yeah, JJ Watt's like what 270. Yeah, no, I'm not that ashamed, but my beer league slap shot doesn't quite hold up to a 270 future Hall of Famer. Gosh,
Yeah.
never
Wow.
will live it down. But yeah, in total, for LeBron to become a GOAT or become the GOAT, he needs to have a 10 touchdown season in the NFL, go and play double
I
A
honestly don't think that.
baseball, have a 50 goal season in the NHL, and then go win whatever the MVP award is in the Spanish Soccer League. And then I will consider him
Yeah.
the GOAT. But only at
Okay.
that point will I consider him the GOAT.
Okay. So do you? Okay. Well, genuinely though, do you still think Jordan's the GOAT?
I don't okay. I need to emphasize this fairly well. I grew up not liking LeBron. I was a Kobe fan through and through. When he came to the Lakers, I was very happy because the Lakers had been bad for a few years. So being able to watch LeBron play for my favorite team was very cool, but I still didn't like LeBron. I especially growing up in a hockey environment where it's the type of thing where if you get your toe chopped off, you keep playing, you lose every bone in your body, you keep playing, and LeBron gets his like stubs his toe and he gets carried off and doesn't play for 3 games. Like it was stuff like that that made me not like LeBron, and even now it's kind of got a bad taste in my mouth with a lot of the stuff that I see him doing and all that. With that being said, and I will get bullied by this, Amir, if for some reason this gets back to you, you never saw this. I, Simon Trzaskowski, will say that at this point, yeah, LeBron's probably the GOAT.
Wow. Put that on a clip,
Put
hey?
that on a clip. Yeah. He's probably the GOAT.
Simon says LeBron's the GOAT.
What else does he have to do, I guess? I mean, like championships,
Yeah.
I mean, championships are one thing, but he's got 40,000 points. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah. It's always tough. I mean, these debates in some way are kind of stupid because it's like you can never compare.
Do I
You'll
think he's
never
the
be able
most
to.
talented and best basketball player to ever live? No. But
Be the
whatever.
GOAT in the same way Tom Brady's the GOAT then? Where
Yes,
it's just he's
that
been
is a
doing it
very
so
good.
long.
That is a very good way of putting it. Yeah, I think he's the
Tom
GOAT
Brady,
in the same way
yeah.
that Tom Brady is, where there is 1,000 more talent, or not 1,000. You know what I mean? A lot of other more talented quarterbacks, but it was the best situation. And not saying LeBron's not talented. He is a top two,
I
top
think
three talent, but I think there are, in my opinion, better. I give if you were to give me one season, I think there has been better basketball players in their prime than LeBron in his prime. I guess is a good way to put
But
it.
nobody has been doing it as well
Yes,
as
LeBron's
consistently.
longevity, just like Brady, is unmatched, and for that reason, yes, he is the GOAT.
Yeah. So I do think that depends on what you value. Do you value as the GOAT the person who is the best during their prime, or is the GOAT the person who's just been the
And
best
that's the
overall
thing. I
throughout the
think
career?
best overall is the way that people look at it. I think immediately we can just say that because, I mean, we
Yeah.
even see that with Brady. Brady's there. You go, done. Right? That's how it
Brady's
is.
pretty undisputed at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at this point with LeBron's career, the one thing he's missing is championships. Like he is just
LeBron,
in the finals.
yeah.
He just
LeBron will
hasn't been
never
able to
be
clutch up.
undisputed.
LeBron,
Yeah.
no,
LeBron
he
will
won't,
never be the
because
undisputed GOAT.
because at the end of the day, I mean, me included, because I am one to believe that Jordan was better, but and the big argument is 6 for 6. Like Jordan
Yep.
never lost in the finals. Count them, right? Like it's just
Yep.
it's that argument, but it's at a certain point that's prime. You're talking about prime when you say that to a certain degree. With LeBron, I mean, he's won four. Yes, four. It was 4 championships because 2 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland, 1 with LA. So yeah, he's won 4
Yep.
in I think 9 trips to the finals, which is not
Yeah.
a terrific percentage. Which is what more people will bring up is the fact that
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he also ran into the Golden State dynasty. Like that's another
not the
thing.
only team. Well, he's lost to a lot of different teams throughout. Like I don't know. There's no point getting into this.
Well,
argument, 'cause
also the
we'll
Spurs,
fight about this
yeah.
like all pot for
No,
like
it's
an
true.
entire like because I have my own opinions. I don't know. At this point, it feels like semantics. He has 40,000 points. He's the GOAT. Like
Yeah,
it
I
feels
guess.
like
I do think
straws.
To add one more thing to the championship argument before we close it, I do think that LeBron in the finals against the 73-9 or whatever it was,
73-9.
the
Yep.
team.
Yep.
There's a 73-9, yeah,
Yep.
the 73-9 Warriors. I think that is probably like one of the best finals performances of all time.
Yes.
Even just like the block coming back down.
Yes. No, absolutely.
In the dying seconds, coming back down for 3-1, everything in that series, beating probably the best team of all time. I think even though he has less championships than Jordan, I think
that
should
makes
count
up for it
a lot. I think I don't know if it fully makes up for it, but I think it should count for a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it should count for a lot.
I think just the fact that the Warriors had to exist in the first place to kind of, or more the Kevin Durant Warriors, I guess is a better way to put it, to stand a chance against how dominant LeBron was in the playoffs, in the finals, whatever. Like, it was just, that really shows. And I mean, similar things happen. Like, people don't talk about the fact that, I mean, in one of Jordan's last years, the Rockets tried to do a very similar thing, bringing Barkley, Olajuwon, and who was the third in that one? Oh, this is going to kill me. Drexler? I think it was Drexler. But they brought three of the biggest Drexler and Olajuwon already played together, but bringing Barkley to that team just stacked it. It didn't work out, but that is the first real big three that was made in the NBA to try and beat Jordan. Didn't work. So stuff like this has been happening all throughout history, but I think it just shows the greatness of these two players more than anything else, where the entire NBA pretty much had to team up to take them out. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say than that, at least in my opinion. I think at this point it's pretty undisputed. I think the funny thing about this entire thing and I mentioned this to you before we started the podcast, was I keep seeing videos of people, now they're taking this opportunity to go back in time and shit on Jordan, because apparently, according to some internet whizzes who found full games, went through full games and tracked how many times he dribbled with his left and right hand. No, I am not kidding. They basically figured out that late 90s Jordan could not hit lefty lays, which is hilarious. It makes me feel much better about my basketball career. Many players have since come out and go, oh yeah, we used to just force Jordan right or force Jordan left and he couldn't shoot. It was yeah, apparently it worked.
I mean, did it though?
Exactly, right? Did it? He still averaged 30 points per game for the first 4 years of his career, so take that as you will, I guess. But
it's still Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't matter when you have the career.
No, I think it's really funny. Where it's just cool, I guess. People already knew that Jordan kind of it was a different era. Playing with plumbers or whatever. Yep. Playing against plumbers.
Yeah.